Sup, you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is this horrible story coming out of Louisiana. In October of 2017, Baton Rouge, Louisiana police officer Christopher Manuel was speeding at 94 miles per hour in his 2007 Corvette on Airline Highway. And at the same time, another car, a 2002 Nissan Xterra, was turning left onto a side street at an unprotected green light, and the off-duty officer crashed into the Nissan. The officer, who Baton Rouge police say was not impaired by alcohol, was driving 94 miles per hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone. The Nissan SUV flipped in the crash, which resulted in the death of a 1-year-old child. Then, 4 months later, February 16th, the officer, who was on paid administrative leave awaiting a pre-termination hearing, was arrested for negligent homicide and speeding. And he ended up immediately posting the $15,000 bail. He was released the same day that he was booked. But then, on February 27th, the mother of the 1-year-old child that died, Brittany Stevens, she was also arrested for negligent homicide as well as a seatbelt violation. And she ended up posting her bail of $3,600 and was released the following morning. And so both the mother and officer are facing punishment of hard labor for no less than 2 years and no more than 5 years with no chance of parole, probation, or suspension of sentence. Now, at this point in the story, you may be wondering, why was the mother charged? She reportedly wasn't driving the Nissan. She was a passenger in the vehicle. She was also in the car that was taking a turn, not the car that was going 44 miles per hour over the speed limit. Well, to begin with, the car that has 5 seats allegedly had 8 people in it, 4 adults and 4 children, and none of them were wearing seatbelts. And with that, all the adult passengers in the car were charged with violation. The driver, Bria Gross, 18, she was cited for driving without a license, seatbelt violation, and 3 counts of child safety restraint violation. Janice Gross was cited for allowing an unlicensed driver to drive her and for a seatbelt violation. Seth Eames was also cited for a seatbelt violation. And along with that, police say they found that Stevens, who told police that she secured her child's car seat and therefore was responsible for the child's safety, had not properly fastened the seat in the car. Police saying the straps were not adjusted correctly for the child's height. Also claiming they had evidence that the car seat was wedged between the driver's seat and the front passenger seat in front of the console. Police saying that the lack of securing the seat to the vehicle and the loose straps are a contributing factor in the death of the child and show gross negligence from the mother. And so that is why they're saying she was charged with the same crime as the officer who caused the crash. Now, as far as what happens from here, we're not really sure. At the end of last month, the district attorney for East Baton Rouge said the prosecutor's office had not decided whether either of the accused would face charges, but adding that their office would, quote, review all reports, charges, and arrests and make the appropriate decisions based upon facts and law. But did also add that proving criminal negligence in Louisiana is extremely difficult, saying that it requires proving beyond a reasonable doubt that an individual's conduct is more than a mere deviation from the standard of ordinary care. It must be a gross deviation below the standard of care expected to be maintained by a reasonably careful person under like circumstances. Adding that criminal negligence is essentially almost an intentional type of act. We also had Louisiana state lawmaker Denise Marcel weighing in on the issue, saying she questioned why the mother would have been arrested and was in shock to see that they would do this. Adding she already lost a child. I just think that unless I'm missing something, I'm seriously concerned about it. And as far as the officer's defense, Manuel's lawyer Ron Johnson said, it was an unfortunate accident, and we believe that when all the circumstances surrounding this are fully vetted, that Mr. Manuel will be vindicated. Speed is a factor in the accident, but in terms of the fatality, I don't think any determination has been made if speed played a role in the death of the minor. And ultimately, where I land on this story, I thought that at the beginning I was going to be in the mother's defense the entire time. But no, I really do believe that both parties are at fault, although at different levels. I don't care what the surrounding situation is that led to 8 people needing to fit into a car meant for 5. That car seat is supposed to be secured in the back seat in a certain way. If you are ever confused as to how to properly install one, I don't know how many people actually do it. You can go to like your local fire station and they can install it for you. But to try and wedge it between the 2 seats in the front, it's so negligent. That said, the idea that she's facing the same charges as the guy that was going 94 miles an hour in a 50 is insane. And I understand Manuel's lawyer is just doing his job. You know, he's saying speed was a factor, but blah, blah, blah. He was going 44 miles per hour over the speed limit. In Louisiana, it is considered reckless driving if it's just 15 miles per hour. For just your first time going 15 miles an hour over, you can be sentenced to 90 days in jail. He was going 44 miles per hour over. Yes, to me, there is no doubt the mother was negligent, but we're not even talking about this situation unless you have an off-duty police officer going 94 miles per hour and crashing into another car. And it's insane to me that this is even remotely up for debate as far as fault. As far as the officer is concerned, it feels like it should just be open and shut here. But with all of that said, I do want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts here? Do you think both should be at fault? Both should be punished the same? Yes, no, maybe so. I'd love to know your thoughts in those comments down below. Then it's the day after the Oscars, and we need to have at least one Oscars-related story. There were several that popped up, but the Emma Stone one was interesting to me, both for what she said and the general reaction. So this year, Emma Stone was introducing the nominees for Best Director when she said, "These 4 men and Greta Gerwig created their own masterpieces this year." And so it seemed that she was trying to hit a note that we've seen made elsewhere, that women are either excluded or not appreciated when it comes to director roles. At the Golden Globes, we saw Natalie Portman make a similar comment, but it appeared Emma Stone did not get the same internet reaction that Natalie Portman got because there were differences. At the Golden Globes, Natalie Portman said, "Here are all the male nominees." It was 4 white guys and Guillermo del Toro who actually ended up winning, but at the Oscars, you had a woman, 2 men of color, del Toro and Peele, and then 2 white guys. Also, there were people saying she might not be the best mouthpiece to talk about people of color, inclusion, because of that backlash back in 2015. You might remember there was the movie Aloha. Her character that she was playing was supposed to be a quarter Chinese, quarter Native Hawaiian. And a common theme I saw among the criticism was that it was peak white feminism. People saying, yes, Greta's only the 5th white woman to ever be nominated in this category, but what about Jordan Peele? Jordan Peele is only the 5th black man to ever be nominated for this category. But with that said, I want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on this situation? But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, of course, a fantastic ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They put all the tickets in one place, they give them 0 to 100 scores so you know if you're getting a good deal or not. I've got the app on my phone and it is by far the easiest way to buy tickets, whether it's something in the future or something last minute. And so if you want to check it out, go to SeatGeekPhil.com, download the app, and make sure you use offer code PHIL to get $20 off your first ticket purchase. And the first bit of awesome is we got a trailer for Mary Poppins Returns. And I'm excited for this. It has an all-star cast, Emily Blunt, you have Lin-Manuel Miranda. That said, of course, anytime Hollywood puts its hands on a classic, you get nervous. And I do think that it's probably just because Lin-Manuel Miranda is in it that I have any faith whatsoever in it. Then we got another fantastic Lucas the Spider quickie. We got a teaser for the final season of House of Cards. We also got the announcement that we will be getting a 5th season of Black Mirror. Vanity Fair gave us Jennifer Lawrence taking a lie detector. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. And then let's talk about our douchebags of the day, 18-year-old Kyle Williams and 19-year-old Jordan Hall. They are our douchebags of the day because they reportedly posted a video on social media showing them dragging a kitten behind a Jeep. Court documents alleging that Williams tied a rope around the cat's neck and then to the bumper of the vehicle. And according to the court statement, someone in the back of the Jeep filmed the cat running behind the vehicle until it couldn't run anymore. The kitten also continued to be dragged even after it was dead while people reportedly watched and laughed. And reportedly the cat was dragged for around 5 minutes. The Jeep stopped twice and kept going because the animal wasn't dead yet. One person in the Jeep can also reportedly be heard yelling, "Keep going, don't stop, he's almost dead." Williams then posted the torture video onto a Facebook group called Cellulite Salvation. And according to prosecutors, he posted the video so that his audience would buy him a pizza. But group members were actually furious after seeing a photo of him next to the tortured, bloodied kitten with one eye popped out of its head. That photo he allegedly posted with the caption, "Try to guess how I killed my cat, bet you can't." Now following this, authorities were alerted, both men were arrested, they were charged, and in fact both men pled guilty and have since been sentenced. Jordan Hall, the driver of the vehicle, was sentenced to 4 years in state prison for animal abuse, and Kyle Williams was sentenced to 7 years, 4 for animal abuse and 3 for armed criminal action in the Missouri Department of Corrections. And in addition to this, Williams was also sentenced to another 5 years for a separate case, that for sharpening a spork into a shank while he was held in county jail on the animal abuse charge. And that's where that story ends. I don't know if there's a lesson to be learned other than if you forgot for 3 seconds, there are monsters of all kinds in this world. And also too, I'm glad that when people saw this online that they actually reported it so that these people could be held accountable. Then let's talk about this news around Alex Jones. Some call him the creator of a far right-wing news organization. Some call him a conspiracy theorist, which is ridiculous. Is it a conspiracy theory to talk about the Jujentu, which is the Brazilian cousin of a little person known as Bigfoot? And is it just a coincidence that the people pushing this Alex Jones conspiracy theorist are communist, globalist media conglomerates trying to distract you from the real news that we expose that the sky is just a 5-dimensional hologram? Also, they're the creators of a special chemical that was put in the water to make people believe that at one point we said Sandy Hook was a conspiracy. And my terrible impression aside, a lot of people know him for the they're making the frogs gay comment.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
But for me personally, and this is kind of where the joke ends, he'll always be the guy that said this after Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And it just shows how bold they are, that they clearly used actors.
But that said, we're talking about Jones today because he and his YouTube channel have been in the news a lot lately since the Parkland, Florida shooting. In February, Jones's channel, which has nearly 2.3 million subscribers, posted a video about the Parkland, Florida shooting survivor David Hogg. The video was titled "David Hogg Can't Remember His Lines in TV Interview." This video seemed to insinuate, as many others did at that time, that Hogg and other students from Stoneman Douglas were crisis actors, or at the very least people paid to play victims during emergencies. On February 21st, YouTube removed the video for violating its policies on harassment and bullying, and for that, Jones's channel reportedly received a a strike from YouTube as a result. Then on February 27th, InfoWars claims that 2 other videos on the channel were taken down and they received a second strike from YouTube. The videos were titled "What is to Blame for the Florida High School Shooting" and "The Truth About Crisis Actors in the Florida Shooting." InfoWars contributor Paul Joseph Watson writing, "This morning we were informed that the channel had received a second strike on a video relating to the Parkland shooting, meaning it is now on the verge of being terminated permanently." InfoWars claiming they received a notice from YouTube reading, "This is the second strike applied to your account within 3 months. As a result, you're unable to post new content to YouTube for 2 weeks. If there are no further issues, the ability to upload will be automatically restored after this 2-week period." And if you're not familiar with YouTube's guidelines, if you receive 3 strikes within a 3-month period, your account is just terminated. Now, if we look at the channel, it doesn't appear that there was any interruption in the ability for InfoWars to continue uploading to the Alex Jones channel. Then on March 3rd, InfoWars claimed that YouTube had removed one of the strikes from earlier in the week, but had also hit the channel with another strike for a video that had already been appealed and restored. This then led Alex Jones to tweet, "The Alex Jones channel with billions of views is frozen. We have been told it will be deleted tomorrow and all 33,000 videos will be erased. We just set up this new page. Subscribe if you want to see what the Southern Poverty Law Center wants censored." But that said, the channel continued running uninterrupted, and a YouTube spokesperson told Newsweek that it had no plans to delete Jones's channel or erase his videos, also saying that YouTube never notifies content creators before terminating their channels anyways. So essentially saying, yes, we do send out emails when you get a strike, but we never send emails before we're going to terminate a channel. If you get a 3rd strike and your channel is going to be terminated, we just do it. We don't give you a heads up. That said, there's also a general distrust of YouTube right now. This because all of this news is coming off the heels of YouTube deleting and then restoring an account of InfoWars Washington Bureau Chief Jerome Corsi. According to Corsi on March 1st, Google/YouTube just terminated my YouTube channel without notice or explanation. Stole my February earnings, gone, censorship now compounded by theft, adding Donald Trump and Ajit Pai, adding so Eric Schmidt is now a hard left thief in addition to a censor, outrageous. In the tweet, Corsi posted a screenshot of 2 previous strikes YouTube had leveled against his videos. One for a video titled "Does the Trump Counterattack Start Now? Yes." Another for a video titled "Trump Wins Narrative on Florida School Shooting." The stated reason for the strikes was that the videos violated YouTube's policies on harassment and bullying. However, Corsi's account was then restored the same day by YouTube. And according to NPR, a YouTube spokesperson told him the company made a mistake in deleting Corsi's account. This because reportedly the company has hired so many people in the last few months to enforce community standards, and because you have these new employees, they're still learning what content is okay and what content is not okay. And while the strike situation is obviously still developing, this is not where the story ends because we're talking about online video. And of course, with online video, hand in hand, we have the advertisers. The back and forth between YouTube and InfoWars since the Parkland, Florida shooting has shown a light on the situation. That spotlight has hit the companies which have ads which play on InfoWars videos. And it was discovered we're not talking about throwaway companies, we're talking about high-profile companies had their ads on these videos. This reportedly including companies like Nike, Acer, 20th Century Fox, Paramount Network, the Mormon Church, Expedia, Alibaba, Mozilla, the NRA, Wix, and ClassPass. And reportedly after being reached for comment, many of the companies said they were unaware that their ads had been running on this channel. And actually, after being contacted, many of the companies said they have suspended their ads on Alex Jones's channel. This including Nike, Expedia, ClassPass, Alibaba, and Mozilla. A Nike spokesperson saying the company was disturbed to learn we appeared on the Alex Jones channel. Additionally, and this is one of the really important parts, it asked YouTube why the ad appeared on a channel after it opted into, quote, sensitive subject exclusion. That exclusion filter is supposed to prevent ads from being placed on videos that cover sensitive social issues, tragedy and conflict, profanity and rough language, sexually suggestive content, sensational and shocking content. And following the various iterations we've seen of the adpocalypse, YouTube seemed very focused on giving advertisers more tools. So now, of course, a situation like this calls into the question of how effective those new tools are. Now, in addition to the exclusion filter, companies can also add certain channels to a blacklist so their ads don't appear on that channel. And so we have companies saying that they are doing just that with Alex Jones's channel. Now, around this situation, YouTube did not comment specifically on InfoWars advertising, but did say, "We uphold free expression according to our community guidelines, even when there are views we don't agree with. When videos are flagged to us that violate our guidelines, we immediately remove them. We do not allow ads to run on videos that deal with sensitive and tragic events." I also did want to chime in for a second regarding Alex Jones, InfoWars, and specifically the YouTube channel. I am personally incredibly skeptical of the information we are being given. I have not, in my over a decade on YouTube, seen YouTube ever send out an email saying, "Hey, you got a 3rd strike, your account's going to be deleted tomorrow." Also, Alex Jones used this situation to promote to a second new YouTube channel, which doesn't make any sense because according to the terms of service, and I believe that it would be enforced because Alex Jones is a high-profile figure, that second channel, unless they tried to engage in some sort of loophole, would go against the YouTube terms of service. It would be shut down as well. And then, of course, just keeping in mind the ridiculous claims that Alex Jones has made in the past, it makes me skeptical. And so that's where we are with this situation right now. It will be very interesting to see what develops, but it is important to understand that there is actually a problem on YouTube right now. And along with that, I feel like it is very important that we understand that all of the channels being affected here are not one and the same. In my eyes, Alex Jones, InfoWars, maybe what we'll call InfoWars affiliates are in a completely different league than other people that are being genuinely affected. I mean, we're seeing everyone from Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, he had his account removed, he said he had no strikes, then YouTube reinstated it. So you have that, but all the way to people like Dave Rubin, who described describes himself as a classical liberal who is constantly demonetized. And understand, and people always try to do this whenever I mention any other creator, they tie me to every opinion that person has ever had. This is not me signing on or signing off on anything they ever said. It's just very important to understand that there is a difference between creators that are being affected. And will YouTube be able to do a better job in the future? I don't know. I mean, think about it. If you're YouTube, you know that you haven't been doing a good enough job. There are people saying the algorithm is not enough. And so you bring on thousands of new people, but that is, once again, thousands of new employees. And their new job, if we're believing everything that we're seeing, is to tell the difference between disinformation campaigns, propaganda harassment videos, and political commentary videos that they may not agree with, they may find disgusting, but should be defended because freedom of speech. But that's where I'm gonna end this one, and I wanna pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on this situation? I'd love to know what you think and why you're thinking it in those comments down below. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I'm trying to do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you got that bell click so you get notifications, since the videos for some reason don't pop up sometimes for the first hour. On that note, if you missed the last Philip DeFranco show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you need something a little bit lighter, you can watch today's brand new behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.